Whether it be a roast turkey with all the trimmings, including my favourite, the Brussels sprout, or another dish that you like to prepare and serve, the Christmas meal brings us around the table to celebrate.
If you could travel back in time and see a Christmas feast in a house such as Blickling, I think we'd be amazed on just the diversity. But also remember then that at a time before refrigeration and before freezers and a way of processing and preserving foods that we understand today, when everything was either fresh or had to be prepared and smoked, salted, pickled, dried to allow it to preserve it through the winter. Well, the turkey doesn't arrive in England until the Tudor period and doesn't become popular until the age of refrigeration, until the 1950s. So certainly throughout the time of this house, 17th, 18th, 19th century, a turkey would have been an absolute rarity. If you hatch a turkey around about Easter time, it takes 7 months to make to full maturity. So it's also a large bird, which is easier to domesticate maybe than the goose or something like this. So you can easily breed them. They're easier to breed, and there's enough meat on a turkey to feed a family comfortably at Christmas time and still have leftovers for the Boxing Day.
So in a stately home like Blickling, what sort of meal would be prepared for Christmas Day?
An astronomical amount of food, of so much variety. I think that's what we find difficult today. We imagine that we've got it all made today. We go and buy our party packs of sausage rolls and mincemeat and all the trimmings that go with the turkey, or whatever you may have on Christmas dinner. It's not always turkey, of course, but it has become the staple. In the past, it would have been a variety of courses and removes. Sometimes a course may consist of 12 removes, and each remove is a different dish that's brought to the table and then taken away. You're more likely to have seen on the Christmas table here the boar's head, brawn, plum pottage, venison, crane, heron, perhaps even swan, but certainly goose. Goose is the staple throughout history before it was supplanted by the turkey. If you went hunting for a wild boar, it was an animal which was quite happily capable of killing you back, and being an omnivore would eat the hunter, and that happens many times in history. So to take a wild boar, certainly if you're looking at 16th, 17th century, was a notable feat in its own right. So to serve the boar's head ceremonially was a dish of honour, if you like, and then the other parts of the pig would be turned into obviously sausages and hung up to smoke and salt, in the way that most common people would have preserved their pig. They would have slaughtered their pig, perhaps if they had one in Advent, early part of December, and then that would have been kept them in meat for the following 12 months. Formed, the small cottage and the small house in the country would have kept a pig, and that's where we'd have gone with it. Chris, tell me what you know about this.
Well, I would imagine it's brass, and it's obviously a pestle and mortar, but for what purpose?
A great kitchen like this, especially Christmas time, would have been grinding spices to give the flavours and smells that we appreciate today, that we understand. The cinnamon, the cloves, the nutmeg, they will give off that wonderful scent that today can be replicated by candles or by sprays. Right. And of course, at this time, most spices would have come in their raw form, and it would have been a responsibility in the kitchen for them to be ground up.
Right.
And this is exactly how it would be done.
Whilst Blickling may have had a small reserve of staff to prepare the Christmas meals, at Hoveton those duties fall to Rachel, who is already preparing the lists and menus for the large family occasion. So what is going to be, what's on the table for Christmas Day this year?
Well, we have a pretty ordinary breakfast, I must admit, and a pretty ordinary lunch, but we have our Christmas meal at supper time. And we will start with smoked salmon, followed by the traditional turkey, and roast potatoes and parsnips and sprouts, which I might just have the one of, followed by traditional Christmas pudding. We're very traditional here because everyone loves that and expects it at Christmas.
Does the family all get together and go for nice long walks on Boxing Day?
We do. There is the Christmas football match, which is always after church, and then we have that around about 11 o'clock. And we all have to go out, even if it's snowing or raining, and have a football match on the lawn. Don't know why, it's tradition. We've done it every year.
Well, I wish you well with it all, because I know
Thank
there's
you.
a lot of proper preparation, and here you are starting already. I know you're getting lists together.
Yeah, I am indeed.
Very best of luck with it all.
Thank you very much. I might need that.
Santa is making a special journey to Hoveton this year, and I caught up with Lynn as she starts creating his grotto to greet the children. So this is the lovely glass house, Lynn, and I understand this is where you're preparing for Santa's grotto, Santa's great throne that he's going to be sitting on.
Yes, I've been busy designing and getting ready to construct a throne from silver birch, and all the wood has come off the estate, as has all the greenery that you see in front of you. I'm trying to keep everything really, really traditional and magic up a little bit with lights and things like that. Hoping that Santa's throne can incorporate at the back the tops of the trees, and then we can put some nice birds and bits and pieces in there for the children to, oh look Mum, there's something interesting to see.
Yes, yes. And of course Santa's going to be there for several hours, so how are you looking after his posterior?
We did consider just giving him a slatted seat, but I think perhaps we ought to lash it and put a big cushion on there to keep him happy for the long time he's got to be sat there with the children all day.
Oh, I think it's lovely. It looks, obviously it's going to be looking fabulous. And at Blickling, the Great Hall tree is complete, and it's time to turn on the lights, an honour I'm delighted to accept. Most of the grand houses in our county are actually family homes, privately owned and run, and many with young boys and girls eager to assist with the colourful creation of festive celebration. For Harry and Rachel Buxton at Hoveton Hall, there is no shortage of willing hands.
Blickling is for 52 weeks of the year, so we're open pretty much 365 these days. Not the house necessarily, because we've got lots of conservation work to do over the winter, but we are open a lot more than we ever used to be. The great thing this year is on New Year's Day, we have our cafe open, our Walker's Cafe. It's called Muddy Boots. And there'll be hot chocolate, there'll be warming soup, and New Year's Day is a brilliant atmosphere at Blickling. There'll be lots and lots of people out in the park walking. So it's a really nice way to walk off Christmas lunch. Father Christmas has a new house this year. So for his weekend stays in Norfolk, he is going up to a lovely thatched cottage on the estate. So that's going to be looking beautiful. He's very excited about that. His reindeer are coming, so people will be able to see those. We've also got donkeys coming, and we've also got lovely little Shetland ponies coming from the Red Wings Horse Sanctuary too. So there's going to be quite a lot of animals to see as well. It'll be lovely.
I'm sure that most of you watching will have spent many hours preparing for Christmas, whether in a stately home or in a home that'll be in a right state after the festive period. Decorating trees, lights, baubles, floral arrangements and wreaths. And you're all now ready for the festive celebrations. I hope you have a very happy and healthy Christmas, surrounded by the ones you love. And as Harry stokes the fire, there's just time for young Samuel Buxton to entertain with his first ever rendition on the piano of a popular Christmas song.